At the same time, we've got separate development teams working on what might be the future of Bank to the Future. And that is that we're involved in a very fast changing market where, thanks to the ICO boom, people are used to controlling their own assets, going from exchange to exchange, which doesn't necessarily translate into the actual compliance-driven model and the securities model that the SEC is saying is a part of our future, of our industry, and the other regulators might be gearing towards. And so while we have a Bank to the Future, the main app is a compliance-driven platform for being able to do primary offerings of different securities, such as utility tokens sold via an investment contract, or simple agreement for future tokens, or simple agreement for future equity, or equity and convertible notes, and various other products. We are also focusing on what that will look like in the future. And so that was really the first phase of our token sale, and the reason we created the BFT token in the first place was to really future-proof and build a community around the new ecosystem that we look to implement, so that we're future-proofing for what these securities are going to look like in the future. And that is really around securities tokens. And securities tokens can be a few different things. It can be just traditional equity sold as a security, but done via a token, so that has all the benefits of a transparent ledger and being able to transfer those in a more fluent way and get down the settlement time of humans transferring paper shares to other paper shares with lots of lawyers in the middle. But also it can be utility tokens which are sold actually as investments, so that we don't need to pretend, in order to comply with securities laws, that these aren't investments, so that we can get the match between people actually selling investments and people wanting to buy investments. We want to bridge that gap by building this ecosystem and allowing people not to pretend that they're not investments, and that's really the goal of that. So the way that we're actually doing that is we're firstly building out the wallet that can hold the BF tokens. And the BF tokens is the different user cases that we got is firstly a membership token, which is live right now, whereby anyone that has 10,000 BFT on their BnkToTheFuture.com account gets priority access to deals. And later in this call, I'd like to announce one of the next priority access deals that we're really excited about. We've been working on for years, actually. And we'll tell you about a new model that we've developed in order to facilitate that. The second utility of the BF token is a rewards token. So when we build our company pages, we'd like to reward people for contributing to due diligence and investor relations, and reward people with that token in order to create a better, more decentralized way of actually contributing to the process of determining what's actually, the isometric information we talked about between investors, old investors and new investors. And the third user case is when we launch our securities token, we'd like to allow people to pay their trading fees and get discounted trading fees as a reward for paying them with the BF token. And so those are the different models. So in order to facilitate that, the first thing we need is the BF wallet, which is a wallet that allows you to, in phase one, hold your BFT tokens and take them off the platform so that you can still gain the membership without actually having to hold them on the platform, and you can still hold the private key. The second phase of the wallet is to allow for the holding of securities tokens in compliance with securities laws, so that now this is an improvement. So originally on the BnkToTheFuture platform, you'd have to hold your share certificate in a physical paper format on the BnkToTheFuture platform. When we move to this more securitized token model, it means that you can take that off the platform, and there'll be a way by smart contract of enforcing regulations and who they can be transferred to within that, but you can still hold them within the BF wallet. In order to make that happen, we need to build API keys that allow to port your identity across these different platforms, so that there's a very seamless user experience. And then the next phase is to actually launch the securities token exchange. Now, there's some really interesting things that are happening at the moment, and that is that while everybody's focused on the US and the US regulations, it's actually one of the worst places to issue a security tokens because of the restrictions that US law and securities law that they've stated won't change. Imposes upon those securities tokens. But actually, international securities law is more suited for this. And therefore, we're going to have this weird situation where within the US, they're disadvantaged in terms of how they can utilize their securities tokens versus the rest of the world. And so we're working on those challenges right now, and we can't really release too much information, but we're just working on those international arbitrage issues that arise as a result of different securities laws and the US being disadvantaged compared to non-US. And so that's something that we're currently working on at the moment with the applications and regulations and licenses that we're working on. Not more I can say about that. But the idea is that you can go from the primary market platform, BnkToTheFuture.com, where you can do the initial issuance of securities and various other things. You've got the BF token, which puts together all this ecosystem in order as a rewards token, a payment token, and a membership token. And then you've got the wallet where you can hold your BFT and hold the securities tokens, which then is integrated into the securities exchange that we plan on launching in the future. And then the final part of the ecosystem in the whole roadmap is that we're looking to build a more decentralized way of determining what we list on Bank to the Future. So that will be a voting platform, and BFT will be the token that actually powers that. So there's a general overview of the ecosystem and the roadmap that we're looking to build around. And in the meantime, unlike many other token economies and systems, we do have our live product, which is the BnkToTheFuture.com platform, which has been around for many years and has funded many of the most successful and valuable companies in our industry.